Well, Haney, we've covered this obviously week in and week out, but this week's a double episode essentially.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of the quarterfinals.
Yeah, you could say that and stuff like that. But what do you think? I mean, it was an interesting 2 week show.
Sorry, it
What
was
did
it was what was it some some interesting picks, but I guess we'll get to that. You know.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird one and stuff like that. I mean, I was watching obviously the first one, which is obviously for the women, and then we watched the men's week after and stuff like that. Well, the day after and stuff, because obviously it was a double episode, and I was like, "What the hell?" Is that?" But they obviously see more than what we see.
So yeah. I mean, they're with them all the time.
Yeah, exactly, and stuff like that. But we're going to talk about all that, everything in between, and stuff like that. Because I think isn't it like it's the semi-finals this week coming, and then obviously it's the final after.
Yep.
Okay.
So,
Oh,
what was it? Yep, it's wrapping up. It's getting near that end of that sort of whole.
yep. Okay. Enough rambling on. Let's get into the intro. I actually think Haney's having some issues.
Yeah,
What's going on?
I'm here twice. I'm here twice.
I thought one of you were
Oh,
bad enough.
I know. Can you imagine two of me? That'd be like hell.
Yeah, I think we're having a bit. Yeah, there we go. You want to disappear. What are we doing? Having some
No,
issues with
hey,
your end?
how are you today? I'm good, Henry. How are you today? What do you think of the Young Bucks, Henry? Yeah, they're fucking useless, aren't they? Yeah, they're a bunch of twats. Yes, Henry. Yes. I agree with you 100%, Henry.
This is what happened in July, though. Innit? Anything can happen.
Yes, it can, and it does. It's all good. It's all good.
Oh, as the week been, mate? Usual stuff.
Yep, just work, really. So, I say that Monday was it a short week? Was Monday a bank holiday? I think it was.
It
I
was
can't
for me,
remember.
yes.
Yes, it was for me. I can't remember. It's been that long ago. What about yourself?
Yeah, usual stuff. Like I said, we had an interview drop this week with LK. That's obviously coming on the show Tuesday. We tried to obviously get an interview with Brian Hebney yesterday, but technology Haney just wasn't playing ball.
No, it's that dial-up network that we've got over here. It's terrible.
Yeah, it is and stuff like that. So we're hoping to obviously get him booked on the show in a couple of weeks' time. It will be obviously on Zoom, so it will obviously be dropping after and stuff. But you know what? It's still great. And we mentioned obviously before we came on the air, Annie. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of some good things in the pipeline coming on the show.
No, definitely. There's lots of good stuff. You know, what was it called? The one, yeah, was it just lots of? I mean, there's lot, there's lots already been. We were talking about pipelines. Lots already been laid. So make sure that you go and check out all the videos that are on the channel. You know, there's some great interviews in there, and there's lots of great topics and interesting stories from all sorts of people. So it's what was it? Great fun.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, the one thing I'm really proud of at the minute is obviously the show for 3 series. Do you know what I mean? Everyone that just seems to be getting so much traction, and that only stemmed from a conversation I had with Ross.
Yeah, it's a great concept, you know. What was it? Just letting people go on and chew the fat, as they say, you know. Because you don't really get the conversations. What was it? It's such a great idea as well because although people are there and they can ask questions, but was it? They go into a podcast, you know, they're probably asked the same question, or if they're interviewed, they're probably asked the same questions, like more often than not, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that because basically people try to learn about the wrestler, but when you've actually got them themselves, just talking, having conversations, what was it, sharing stories and things like that, sharing experiences together, it's great story. It's great stories to listen to and gives you a real good understanding of the sort of dynamic behind the scenes, you know, and how much of a family particularly in the UK, guys have got, you know, what was it? They're so tight, you know. They might, but was it? They might like not work with each other for weeks on end or months on end, but when they come together, they really have a good time, and they've got stories to share and things like that. It's always good.
Yeah, and the one thing I like as well is when we did the BWR one, which is the episode before episode 3, they were on about it saying that because they're so busy on show days, they don't get the time to actually, speak like they did on the show.
Yeah, I mean, everybody thinks that the wrestlers just turn up and they just wait for their match, you know.
Yeah, essentially.
Hey, that was, and the referees have got it. I've said it before, but I mean, that was the referees have got it much harder because they might have 2 or 3 matches, you know. So they've got to get involved with the wrestlers and understand what's going to happen and and things like that, you know. So what was it? And a lot of these guys are involved in setting up the venue and things, you know. But was it's just like a thing you do, you know. It was but all good.
Yeah, it is and stuff like that. I mean, like I said, we've got loads of stuff in the pipeline, but we're not talking about that any. We're
No,
talking about LFG. So obviously, it's I forgot what they called it now. Is that the playoffs? I think they called it.
What did they call it again? They called it was something like that, wasn't it? It was like
Yeah, called it playoffs.
The playoffs.
So in 2-week episodes, we'll build double episode. Obviously, it's the women gets from 8 to 4, and then same with the men. So we're gonna first part, we're gonna look obviously at the women and stuff like that, and then our actual thoughts what actually happened. So instead of going through the matches here, because obviously I felt like the matches didn't really. It was more about Jody Usden more as overall in a way.
Yeah, you know, it was it was sort of that. So it obviously it started off with Sean announcing how it was going to play out. You know, what was it called? What was it? And what basically they were going to be eliminating somebody. What was it? And it was done inside inside the sort of team. You know, so the coaches had to eliminate. What was it? An individual. What was it? Which was quite unfortunate, you know, because there was some good talent cut, you know. So it then sort of led into sort of like what was it, a sort of discussion with the sort of legends talking to their competitors. So it started off with like what was it, no, Undertaker. He was talking to sort of like Tyra and Bailey, and they were just saying to them, just emphasising about what they need to do and what was it? I think he used the word "seize the moment," you know. So there was that, and then you had obviously Booker T going up next. You know, like talking about like the newfound passion that they've got. You know, but was it? I think Mickey James. She had the hardest. What was it? Of these picks, I think, to be honest. What was it? Because both of them really stood out. You know, I know you like Danny, so what was it? What was it? Obviously, there was a wee bit of thing with there, but it was criticising the cockiness that was going on there between the two of them. But that's the competitive nature in them, you know, and you showed a bit of passion. But was it? What was it? And then Bubba was up and he was speaking to. Was it? Zena and Tatiana, and obviously, what was it? I
I
think
just want to
Tatiana.
point out something from him as well. I liked his approach where it was just literally stood there, like paying attention in a way.
Yeah, you know, what was it called? He's got a very interesting coaching method, you know. But no, definitely, you know, and you earn more so than any of the other ones. I think you need to earn Bubba's time. You know, what was it? I'm sure. I'm sure from what I've heard, and what was it? About can't really speak from reading about Taker because he's not. I don't think he's got a wrestling school. But from what I've read about Booker T, like, what was it? It's hard work even getting into his school because he's like what was it, heavily involved with it, and what was it? He doesn't fuck about. You know, people like wrestling's important to him. You know, so as much as we see him as a bit of a joke on the commentary, you know, some people don't. Not a big fan of how his character on the television with the commentary. You know, but what was it? He was a phenomenal wrestler, and you know, so what an amazing coach to have there. And same with Bubba. You know, what was it called? And obviously, what was it? Bubba I think Bubba's the two girls, but was it was into this one because obviously Tatiana, but was it felt a bit like, but was it that she needed to speak up, so she sort of like, as she called it, take the filter off, and was it got quite emotional about what was going on. So it was good. It was good. You know. So I'll be interested to see where it sort of goes. You know. What was it? But was it? I think. But was it? As you say. But was it Bubba's sort of his approach is like go steal the show, you know. So obviously that led into sort of the matches and things like that.
Yeah, so instead of looking through the matches and stuff like that, we're going to talk about each individual person from each team and stuff like that, and what we obviously feel as the show's progression through the weeks. Does that sound a bit more easier?
Yeah,
Yeah, so first, obviously, two people was obviously Team Bubba, Tatiana, and obviously Xena and stuff like that. When it comes to Xena, I mean, for me, she's the most improved wrestler throughout the entire series. Because I want to admit this as well, by the way, I did write her off at the start, but she's proven me wrong. She's proven fans wrong. I think she's probably proven you wrong.
yeah, but I mean, she is great, you know. What was it? It, 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 you know, it's just it's interesting to see that development. You know, as you said, I mean, you can't really say anything more than that.
Yeah. What about Tatiana and stuff like that? I mean, she has obviously shown some good stuff and stuff like that. The emotion side, I feel like sometimes does get the best of her.
Yeah, but was it? It's almost like a manipulative thing as well. She can turn it on when she wants, you know.
Mhm.
Um, like you know, and although we sort of looked upon it as like Bubba recognised that, as we'll get to it, you know, not to spoil thing actually, but we'll leave his remarks to that later on. Obviously, when we get to the results, so I'll stay tuned there.
Okay. Then, of course, we've got Panina and obviously Leela Alpha Team Booker. Panina, I mean, I love the main street when it comes to Panina. I feel like she's one of those where she goes under the radar in a way.
Yeah, what was it? Panina's an interesting one, isn't it? Because she's not been one of the sort of names that's been called out through the whole series, you know.
Hmm.
So although as the series she became more and more, you know. What was it? And obviously, sort of, Leah spoke about her passion, you know, for it as well. You know, you wonder like how they like putting yourself into a sort of coach's development. But was it at that point in a competition? You know, are the coaches thinking, are they telling me what? Are they telling me what I want to hear? You know, so you don't. It must be hard not to get wrapped up in that moment because you've got
Hmm.
to look back at all the other weeks that were there, and it's all right saying you were passionate and got it, but did you really put that passion in that whole time? You know, so obviously we can't speak about that because we never seen that. We just seen little snippets of it, so we don't really know what went on in the background. You know, so but I think definitely everybody improved as the sort of show went on.
Okay. Then next up, we've got for Team Taker Bailey and obviously Tyra May Steele. When it comes to Tyra, and this is not a knock and stuff like that, the whole attitude behind the ring just does not do it for me. And sometimes I feel like in the ring,
No,
she's kind of like pacey in a way.
I don't like people who think their shit doesn't stink. You know, what
Hmm.
was it called? And that's. But then again, she's an Olympian, so what was it? What was it? Whereas we might see it as an arrogance, it might just it's something that she's got. That's why she's an Olympian with a gold medal, and we or whatever. And you know, we're not. But
No, I get what you're saying for that and stuff like
it's,
that, but for me is like
yeah,
for me as a fan, I want to get invested in like these like wrestlers, characters and stuff.
yeah. There's a disingenuousness that's like to that. You know, it's like I want this, you know. But it reminds me, it reminds me of a remark weeks ago by somebody. I can't even remember if it was related to this or it was even. I can't even remember if it was related on this program. I think it was in this program where they were talking about like all these like competitors and there's, it wasn't this program actually, and I think it was Bubba that said it, and he says, "Yeah, but you're here because there isn't a path for what your chosen passion, you know." In the sort of amateur sense of it, you know. So this is your second pick.
I think that was Gunther, weren't it?
That was Gunther, actually it was, you know. and I don't know if I can't remember if it was to Tatiana or what. I think it was. But that was a really interesting comment for me because people love wrestling, or people what was it, come into wrestling, as a second choice path. So it is always hard, but I think obviously as time went on, I think she obviously wants it, but it's it's maybe to the detriment of how people perceive her.
Yeah, and that's what's always going to be the issue, I think, sometimes.
She's again, it might be it's the competitive nature and it's the minute nature of her on her, but what was it? She does come across like the sort of person that would shoot her teammates down to get on top, But again, nothing wrong with that, that's just like many wrestlers have done that. Shawn Michaels did that. Bret Hart did that, So that's not a criticism. It's just how we were reserving it. But yeah.
No, exactly. And of course, I mean, we spoke about obviously Bailey, over weeks and weeks and stuff like that. For me, I mean, everyone said it. I think she's the full package when it comes to a female wrestler. Something different, takes no
Yeah.
shit, and the whole thing just really works.
It does. What was it? She just looks like she's ready to go.
Yeah,
You know?
I think that's.
Yeah.
I couldn't really say that anything more than that because she's just so good.
Yeah, exactly. And she's so new to it as well. So she's only going to get better.
No, exactly, and stuff like that. And then, of course, the last two, which is Serena Linton and Danny Sikelski for Team Mickey. You said it at the start of this. This is probably the most difficult one because they're both on par with each other. They're both so good, but they also have the same weaknesses in a way.
Yeah, and definitely, and then even coming down to Mickey making a decision, I don't think she'd even made it till she was up there. Um, you know, it was so close. What was it called? But
I think
oh,
didn't Bubba point it out as well, saying she's not made her mind up yet.
yeah, she's not made her mind up. You know, but she's fair play. And I think he said as well at the end of their match, it's just obviously because of the facial expressions and things like that, and he says that was so good, and Baba turned around and says, "Yeah, I don't know what you're thinking about. They've just made your job so much more harder."
Exactly, and stuff like that. So once obviously our matches were finished, it gets down to elimination. So we'll talk about obviously we thought deserved to go through, but then the actual results. So up first, obviously, was Team Bubba. Who did you think deserved to go through? Did you think deserved to go? Best what we've seen obviously overall.
um, it was it was hard. I think Baba made the right choice on this one.
Straight to the point, easy enough than that.
Yeah, I mean, we spoke about it. It was a no-brainer for me.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, I mean, like I said, she's the most improved and stuff. I think she obviously
Yeah.
will be the one to win it and stuff. So for me, yeah. So
Yeah.
Tatiana obviously got eliminated, and Zena obviously
Yeah,
moves on.
just to point out, I got Tatiana mixed up. What was it? But you know who I meant anyway. So I was meaning, was it Penina? Obviously.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah,
obviously Zena goes
yeah,
through and stuff like that. So she's obviously into the final four. Next
yeah.
up, of course, was Team Booker. What do you think should go through? And obviously,
Go. um. Yeah, I don't really like Penina. So, but then again, I'm putting bias into it. It's a difficult one, isn't it?
yeah, I think so. Leo Laurel obviously got eliminated, which obviously Panina obviously moved on and stuff like that. Overall, do you think that was the right call?
It was a hard one, wasn't it?
Mm.
Because I'm not a big fan of either, so I wasn't too fussed about seeing both of them go.
Yeah, easy enough. Then, of course, the biggest one, which I think it was Team Undertaker. Go ahead.
Boo, Undertaker.
Yeah, I don't. This is the one where I was scratching my head a little bit. I'm only going on based on what I've seen, Joe, as a fan. But
Yeah.
Kylie May obviously moves on. Bailey gets eliminated. This one's really, I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Anything to add on to it, though?
Nah, this sucked.
Do you think this
I'm a
was a bad call?
Like, how can you like? I get he says that she's going to change the business. You know, what was it called? So so what? The competition's just a lie. You know, they're all going to turn up on NXT anyway.
Well, it turns out 3 of them already have.
Well, quite a few of them have. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Dear, but yeah,
And Cutler's part of the Dark State. You know, so I mean, what do you do? Yeah.
yeah, it was really shocking to me. I just could not, get my head around, why. But like I said, it's Undertaker sees more than what we do, so
Yeah, yeah. So, what do we know? We're just two idiots on the internet talking about wrestling.
essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
So next and final, obviously, we've got Serena Linton and Danny Sikelski for Team Mickey. I will be honest, by the way, I like these two so much that I would have been happy whoever got through because I feel like they're both on par with each other.
Yeah, I think Mickey was a tough decision. It was, you know, and they both are great. You know, you can't really pick through these two. You know, it was a difficult one, and obviously, as we spoke about with sort of like talking about the results, Mickey, like she spoke about not being able to have like a tough decision, you know, and having to deal with that, you know, and what direction that they're going to go. If she could train her, she could herself, she would, and, you know. Uh, it's like, yeah, it's difficult. It was a difficult one.
Yeah, and stuff like that. So that's obviously week 1 and stuff like that. Let's obviously get over to the men's side. It's the same principle, really, as obviously the women's one. So it starts off with them obviously getting one-to-one conversations, well, one-on-two conversations with obviously the coaches and stuff. I want to put a bit of spotlight, obviously, on the Troy and Luke one because that one got pretty heated.
Yeah, that was a bit passionate, that one, wasn't it?
I didn't see that coming, to be honest with you.
No. Yeah, it was very interesting.
It was. I mean, we all have personal things to deal with, but that was one of those things where I'm like, oh my God, what the hell?
Yeah, it was interesting to start to see, you know.
And then obviously, I think Bubba picks it up later on in the matches, which we'll obviously get to. But then again, Bubba's approach literally is like, if you turn around, you might as well go home now. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. He doesn't mess about, Bubba. He's like, I ain't got time for you, bro.
No, exactly, and stuff like that. So we'll do exactly what we did with this one. So we'll go for each individual thingy. So Chris Island and Troy Yearwood. Is that Team Mickey's? My mind's gone blank.
Oh God.
Yes, it is. Yeah, sorry, my mind went blank then.
Yeah, Chris Island and Troy Yearwood.
So Chris, this Chris Island, he has done some good things and stuff like that,
Yeah.
but there's little things he does into his game where you think, what the hell are you doing?
And the problem with these two wrestlers are that to me, like looking like they're very generic. They don't stand out to what's out there already.
No, I
Both
have
of
to
them.
agree with them.
You know, so that's sort of different. That's sort of difficult. You know, so.
Yeah, it was a weird thing and stuff like that. Troy, I think he's one of those where he's gone under the radar a little bit.
Yeah, there's probably stuff we don't see. Like you say, we don't see stuff in the episodes, so it's a bit unfair because we just get like an hour and we get little snippets, you know, and we don't know what's going on. Like, and obviously it's reality TV as well, so things are presented in a certain way.
Yeah, exactly, and stuff like that. And then, of course, Team Takers, Shiloh Hill and Elijah Holyfield. We've praised, obviously, Shiloh from week to week to week. He's obviously, I feel like he's really up there.
Yeah, he's like so good. What was it? Elijah's good as well, you know. That match a couple of weeks ago where it was just two bits of slabs of meat just hitting each other. I love that type of wrestling. Um, you know, what was it? But yeah, it was most definitely what was it? A right decision when they made the decision on that one.
Yeah, the thing is with Elijah and stuff like, if he sticks at it and just like brushes up on little things, I feel like he could really make it.
Yeah, he's just starting out, so it, like some of these guys are just in the door, so I don't think we've seen the last of like these guys, at all.
Hmm. No, exactly, and stuff like that. So then, of course, Team Bubba, Drake Moreau. Again, I feel like this is one of those like things where he's been trying to find like a personality way throughout the whole show.
Yeah, he sort of lost, and he did that sort of move, and then Mickey says, "What you doing? Do the do the 2 count. Don't just get up," you know. And so the reason I'm not bringing that up as a mistake. It's just, again, it's psychology, isn't it? It's,
Hmm.
it's, it's knowing when to do things, and you wonder, what was it, what was it, if they're being told these things and they're not doing it. What was it called? Because again, they mentioned it, so it's maybe it's probably something that's been talked about, So you've got to look at how they judge things with that. But I can't stand BJ.
No, I
I
mean
just
let's obviously talk about him and stuff like that. I mean, he's back here obviously in the show. He's in obviously this actual thing, and yeah, you're absolutely right. But I don't know what I think of him. He's just one of the most annoying things ever. But I think Tiffany obviously was in one of our chats pointed out saying we hope he's not like that in real life.
Yeah, yeah, I know, and I know we're playing a character, but this is meant to be like a reality show, and I know it's wrestling as well, and reality is sort of fake as well, but it's almost felt like since day one that he was going to win it.
Yeah,
Just to be the way he's been presented, and it pisses me off.
no, exactly, and stuff like that. And I mean, like I said, we could have a whole debate about that, but like I said, we're not going to waste too much time. Then, of course, for Team Buck, we've got Anthony, Luke, and Jasper Troy. I think Luke was for me like a front runner. Do you know what I mean? He had the
Yeah.
charisma, stuff like that.
Um, I got the impression that Booker wasn't overly impressed with what went on this week. I might be wrong though.
I think they pointed it out when they got to eliminations that a lot of the things he were doing, it gave off like, do you know, the Rock vibes.
Yeah, you know, and they sort of covered that. What was it called? And he said, what was it? Every time I see a wrestler come out try to be the Rock, they've never been successful. You know, be you. So it was interesting. I don't think he was happy with the match personally.
No, I don't think he was even. The thing is, for me, I mean, and he's absolutely right what Booker said there is I didn't want to see another Rock. I didn't want to see another Stone Cold stuff like that. I want to see first like Anthony Luke or Jasper Troy or something.
Yeah,
That's the way I looked at it anyway.
definitely.
And then, of course, we've got Jasper Troy, big massive part. This is one who I think you've obviously been a massive fan of.
Yes, definitely. It's it just yeah, it's head and shoulders for me. About like how like good like some of these guys are against the other guys. So it's difficult.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
definitely is.
I really like how I really like him.
Exactly. So after these, obviously, it comes to eliminations and stuff like that. I can't remember exactly what order it's in because I've not got it in the notes in front of
Yeah.
me. But we'll start with obviously with Team Booker. Did the right person go through?
You, I think like Booker started going on about people don't know, like they never like I'm ahead of people. What was it? I'm doing things for a reason. You just don't know why I'm doing it. And he sort of made a reference like he's got a pit face that you want to punch.
And what about Booker, not Bubba?
Oh, sorry, I got the two of them mixed up there. Wait, I've lost my train of thought now. 2 seconds.
Yeah, so we're on about Booker's team, just so you don't obviously get confused.
Yeah, two 2 seconds. I've got my notes up. I've marked them down wrong in my notes. Oh.
Shall I tell you which people they are, just so you know?
Yeah, so it's Anthony Luke and Jasper Troy, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Yes. So yeah, I mean, what was it? As we said, Jasper's been great all the way through it. So um, I think I think Booker was confident in the pick he was making.
Mm-hmm.
But was it, and I think a lot of the coaches like Jasper as well. So
I feel like his passion for it as well. You can see that
yeah,
throughout.
and he cut that great promo early on. So yeah, he's doing everything the right way. Was that what Undertaker said? Was that with somebody else? Trying to remember now.
I think it was with the Undertaker.
Aye, it was Undertaker. So yeah, great. I think that was the right choice.
Yeah. Mickey, Danny goes through.
Mickey, I think she struggled again with her decision. But
Sorry,
I
Chris
don't think.
Island. Sorry, we've already done Danny. I've just said, yeah, Chris Island goes through.
Yes, yes. I'm not a fan of Chris Island at all. He's one of these ones that just looks. He just looks what was it? Like a typical wrestler, a generic wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
You need something. You need something different. If you want to just go do flippy shit in matches, go do EW. When there's no reason for doing things. But if you want to be a storyteller, and be a gimmick and things like that, this is what you need to do. You need to find your identity.
100%. I mean, you kind of touched on it earlier on, but I think I know the answer. BJ goes through.
Yeah, not good, not good. But then again, I think maybe, but Bubba Ray's the one that wants to punch his face in.
He is kind of got a point, though. I feel like he has got one of those faces where people would like to actually punch and people pay for it.
Yeah,
I generally do.
he's got an interesting look though with his physique and all that. He's not overly like the other guys. The other guys are sort of well ripped and toned. Even some
Mm-hmm.
of the heavier guys. I know he's just out of an injury as well, so you can't really criticise him. You don't want to body shame people, but um, he doesn't have the look of the other guys, which is, I know that sounds strange, but that's always been something the WWE have like had, whether it's a right or a wrong reason, typically.
Yeah.
Um, you know, but yeah,
And then, of course, Shiloh goes through for Team Taker, which I think we kind of knew that one, to be honest.
yeah, that was a given for me. Like, can't really argue with that.
Not at all, not at all. Stuff like that. So, obviously, now it's Panina and obviously Jasper Troy for Team Booker. Mickey James, also got Chris Allen and Dennis Sikalski. Bubba Ray's got Zena Sterling and BJ Ray. Undertaker's got Tyler Macy and Shiloh Hilder.
Yep.
If you could pick two from each, right? So, okay, what we'll do is you have to pick two male and two female to go through. Who would you pick?
Well, that's difficult. So Shiloh and Jasper,
Yeah, I think I have to agree with that one 100%.
and the female one's so hard because there's
Well,
so many good.
Zena's obviously for me.
Yeah, Xena is definitely one, but the other one I really can't pick. Let me think. It's yeah, that's a tough one, isn't it? I'm not
On the
overly a fan, but if you're going to do the whole sort of like PJ thing, then P thing as well, you need to go with somebody who's got a bit. I think, yeah, it's hard. It's hard.
it's hard when you
Dan,
think about it.
yeah, Danny as well.
For me,
Um,
I mean, like I said, I think I'm Zena's obviously a woman. I do think Danny as well. If it's not, probably Panina.
do you think Penina? Yeah,
Yes.
it's not Danny, is it? It's in the final. Is it Serena, isn't it?
No, it's Danny
That's Danny. Yeah, I'm right with that. Yeah, sorry, I was getting myself confused there.
So Jasper, Troy, and obviously Charlotte Hill. Obviously, you said gets to the final. Who comes out on top?
That's a good one. I think Jasper's going to win it.
Yeah, I think if it's Jasper and Shiloh gets to the final two, I'll be happy either way because I feel like both of them are probably the top two males throughout the whole series.
Definitely. What I would caveat that with, I think ultimately who actually going to win it is BJ. It's just I've had the gut feeling since day one that he's going to win it.
And I remember you saying if we know anything about TV, it can always happen.
Yep. Yeah, it's just the way he's been booked and shown off in it. It's almost like they're trying to highlight him over everybody else. And then I'll go with Zena to win it. So
yeah, I feel like it's probably more harder with the win. Zena's obviously the most improved and stuff like that, but I feel like any of those women deserve to win it. Except I don't want to single out Tyra again, but I just don't like the old attitude type thing.
Yeah, we don't like this shit. Don't stink attitude.
Yeah, one of those. And yeah, and so obviously next week's obviously the semi-finals, and of course it's the finals week after. And they've got something which is probably one of the biggest opportunities ever to get to be at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, you can't really sniff at that, can you?
Can you, heck?
If you're a one hat wonder and you get one match on television or whatever, that's where you would want to do it.
100% stuff like that. So yeah, obviously the new episode's out tomorrow. We probably record it around. I'll just spelling. Try that again. We probably record it on Friday or Saturday, gives people time to watch it. We're going to be back in roughly about a few hours?
Yep, that'd be good. We're talking about
Lucha Underground.
Whoop whoop.
I've been actually watching some of their stuff this morning just to see, anything about it. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it is. It was an interesting concept.
Yeah, we'll obviously talk about the controversies and stuff like that. But yeah, that's all obviously for now, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah, obviously WWE LFG episode 14 will be out obviously next Friday or Saturday. Then it's the final. Then I don't know what we're going to do on a Friday anymore.
We'll find something. We'll discover something.
We always do. We always do. You get the final say, pal?
Final say? Oh, what was it? Oh God, I need to think of something now, don't I?
Shall I just hit the outro?
Yeah, just hit the outro. I've not got a smart ass comic to say.
All right.
There's a potpourri.